Who's
Good-
awake over there?
Good luck sinking that. No one's awake
Sync
over
with
here.
the last one.
I'm awake over
And
here.
you clapping? And you're clapping like that?
Oh, I'm clapping. Dude, this is game time. It's time for the podcast. Good morning, dude. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very good. This is
Good, man.
This is episode 15.
Wow. 15 weeks we've been doing this show. 15 weeks. That's kind of
Yeah.
crazy to think about it like that. My
Yeah, no,
goodness.
it's cool. It's pretty cool.
So here we are, dude. It's Friday. How are you? Are you surviving? How's your family? How's the lockdown? What's going on with you?
It's good. It's been this week's been busy, going back and forth with a lot of work stuff. Family's good, man. We are, what is the date? April 24th. So we've got about 3 weeks
getting
to the
close,
due date
buddy.
for this baby.
You're getting close, man.
Yeah. Just, it's between work and organizing the house, and really organizing the house, but really just organizing the space for the baby and stuff like that. Like just figuring out where we're gonna put her, and we got all the clothes and a new car seat and a new stroller and all that stuff. So it's honestly it's almost at the point where it's almost done. Like she's gonna be able to kick back and just wait now. So
Yeah.
it's cool, man. It's good times. It's putting everything together and getting life in order for that stuff. I'm
Man.
not sure what's gonna happen with Joyce as far as how much time she's gonna take off of work. But we'll see, man. We'll see how that goes. We're getting ready for that.
That's very exciting, dude. Are you ready for that infant life? Are you ready to be back? It's been a little while.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't feel like it's even. It has been. It's about to be 5 years, but I don't feel. It doesn't feel like 5 years.
Feels like it's been
It doesn't.
quick.
I feel like I haven't really. It doesn't feel that far removed. I feel like I'll be able to jump right back into it.
That's exciting, man.
So-
That's exciting. I just remember before Victor was born, I only have Vic. You've got, about to have three kids
third now.
Yeah, you're about to have three. But I remember just being terrified, just totally terrified. Not of being a dad, but being terrified of just like having a very small human in the house and having to make sure, it survives.
Well, babies are funny because there's moments where I think every parent, even if they might not admit this out loud, there's moments where you'll like look at the baby and shake it a bit, like, is it still alive? Like, because sometimes
dude.
they'll be like, they'll sleep and they'll stay so still, and you'll be like, yo, what just happened?
Bro, I used to put Victor in striped onesies so that I could look over on the baby monitor and see the stripes move to make sure he was still breathing, dude. Like, and I would like 2-3 times a night I would wake up and I would go rush in there like a ninja. And I would go, is he dead? Okay, he's not dead. Okay, good.
It's crazy.
Dude, yeah, and I was terrified, dude. I was so terrified, terrified of choking, terrified. Am I feeding him the right way? Is it, dude, it was crazy. He had jaundice, which is kind of like a yellowing of the skin. It happens, and so every day, like a good dad, I'd be holding him. We had this couch in Hawaii, and I'd push it over towards the sliding glass door to the backyard where there was sunlight. and I would just sit there and hold him, and then 30 minutes later I'd flip him like a little sausage patty, man. Make sure he got all his natural sunlight, dude. But dude, the drive home from the hospital when I first took Victor home, dude, I was doing like 30 on the highwai in the right lane.
How far away did you live from the hospital?
So it was a good ways. So I lived in Kailua at the time, and on the island of Oahu in Hawaii, and we were about how long is that drive without any traffic? 10-15 minutes, but in Hawaii, 30 to 45 minutes. So yeah, he was born in a beautiful Tripler Army Medical Center. I think that's what they call it. Big pink hospital over there in the hills of Oahu, man. So, but
Right.
yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. I was terrified, dude. Super scared. But then, like after 4 or 5 days, I was like, yo, I got this. Like I got this. Like what are we worried about? You know what I mean? Like this is fine. Feed him, clean him,
Yes.
let him sleep, dude. Like just calm down.
Yeah, I said it before. It's like being a parent is one of the hardest things and the easiest things you're ever going to do.
Yeah.
If you got a little bit of common sense, you'll be fine. It becomes one of the hardest things you ever do when especially in the newborn stage when they start crying and you know something's wrong and they can't tell you.
Yeah.
That's a challenge. It's like you don't know what to do, and that could be hard. But other than that, like little stuff. The older they get, a lot of times it just becomes a rhythm, man, and it seems easier. There's gonna be stuff that pops up. You're like, how the heck do I deal with this now? But it's I don't know. I find it more easier than difficult. Like I don't see. I'll put it this way. I don't see it as a test or a load. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not some kind of weight that I gotta figure out, and it's like, oh my goodness, like it's always like every day is like a privilege.
Yeah.
It's like it's fine to figure this thing out. It feels good.
How was Hector as a baby? Like as a newborn? And what kind of baby was he? What was he like?
It was almost too easy, honestly. I can think of maybe twice where he was crying, where he was sick, and we didn't know what to do. There was one time where he got hives all over his body, and that was kind of scary.
Oh wow.
So we got up like in the middle. I still got pictures in my phone. It's like all over his body, his face, all the way down to his toes. Like every inch of his body was full of like huge hives, and they were like puffed up.
Dude, I'm sure you were
like, bad.
you were freaking out, man. I'd be like, what are we gonna do? That's nuts.
Yeah, we ended up like it was like 2-3 in the morning. We ended up going to urgent care, and they were like, because it's funny, he got sick. I forgot what it was. Like he had a cough or something, and they gave him penicillin, and the penicillin they think gave him an allergic reaction. So to this day,
wow.
he can't take penicillin, or
There
he
you go.
doesn't take penicillin.
Yeah. Takes the other one.
But then that's a problem too, because then apparently that's in a ton of medicine, and it limits him to very few medicines you could take. So they were like, recently when he got sick, because he gets a lot of ear infections because he got like sinus problems. And recently they were saying, they were like, yo, take him back and see if he's really allergic to penicillin, because he might not be. Because a lot of times in that infant stage, your body reacts just crazy to anything
like
going
a
on.
weird episode, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so they were like, if he's really allergic, then that's fine. It's just going to make him a bit more challenging to treat as he gets older, because he's real limited. So we'll see. We'll see what it is. I mean, but other than that, he was real easy. I mean, what about with Vic?
Vic was again. It was like we had a cheat code enabled, dude. He was very mild mannered, very bubbly, very fun, always happy, very rarely flipping out. I mean, like the first couple weeks, of course, newborn babies, dude, they were freaking out a little bit, but he calmed down, man, and it was just it was a dream, dude. He was and still is. He's still great, man. He's great. So we lucked out in that regard, man. And me and Bree are planning on having another kid, and I'm like, man, I see these horror stories of like these colicky babies that are just like nonstop for like 6 months, 12 months, just always crying all day, every day. And I'm like, yo, now that would be very difficult. Not because you don't love your kid and all that. Not like, I don't know if I could take it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, man, that's just got to be emotionally and physically draining, dude. I can't even imagine.
I didn't have those problems, like the cliche stuff people say, the terrible twos with Hector and all that stuff. Like,
yeah, we
you've
really
been well
didn't
behaved. I told you before, Annalise, when she was about 3, to like 2 or 3, she was starting to like get little problems like that. But that's something that you just like correct real quick. You just show them you're not going to accept certain things, and they respond.
Yeah, and well, that terrible 2 phase, that's where these kids are starting to learn, oh, I can explore this world. There's cause and effect. I can do things now. I'm starting to get a little autonomy, you know what I mean? And they start to push their boundaries. And yeah, I never really understood everybody talking about freaking out about that terrible 2 phase. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying it didn't really happen for Vic. Like you said, we kind of some things started to creep up when he started to get a little bit more autonomous, and we just took care of those things. But yeah, so I mean, so Annalise, man, like, what was she like, dude? I'm very interested, dude, because I've only had the one experience with Vic, and you're much more versed in it than I am.
Yeah, Annalise was as far as the attitude and stuff like that, she was more of a challenge. She wanted to be more independent, and it's just like this mindset of like, I want to be heard and I'm gonna do what I want. And it just takes somebody saying, nah, you're not going to do whatever you want. I haven't seen that too much with Hector. Not to say it doesn't happen at all. But when Annalise was younger, it was more like a every other day type of thing, like having to recalibrate. And it's like, you're not gonna get loud. You're not going to whine about every single thing. It's funny. I can remember one of her biggest things was she would have something to say about everything she wore. Like, no matter what you put on this kid, I hate my clothes. I don't want to wear it. This is ugly. I look ugly. I'm like, yo, you're gonna wear whatever we're giving you. Like, I don't want to hear it. And she would want to like wear the most mixed, like match thing. It'd be like a pink shirt and green shoes and like black pants or whatever. And it's like, what do you? No,
baby, that's
no,
a watermelon, baby. That's a watermelon, baby.
Yeah, man. She's like, I want to be a melon today,
dude. That's funny,
let
man.
me melon.
Vic has been going through, and he's kind of phasing out of it, but he's kind of had an aversion to like, kids are weird, man. Kids are very weird. They're not weird. Everybody is very interesting. They got their little quirks, little idiosyncrasies, and all that. And Victor has kind of like this aversion to like certain types of clothes. So, like, he doesn't like wearing jeans because he doesn't like the way they feel when he bends his knees. And I'm like, put the damn jeans on.
When you bend your knees, how? Like, I don't
like, no, just like movement.
Around
like,
the knees, around the.
He feels restricted, dude. He feels like he can't move and shake. I can't move. And like, he doesn't like long sleeve shirts. He does. I feel like he just doesn't like being constricted. He'd rather freeze outside. He'll rock some shorts and a t-shirt and put like a windbreaker jacket on and be like, I'm ready to go, Daddy. I'm like, yeah, no, you're not leaving like that. I'm not gonna roll to the daycare with you walking out in shorts.
Right.
But it's interesting, man. But yeah, Annalise, I mean, she's at that formidable age now, man. She's coming into her own.
Yeah, no, that was more, I feel like by the end of 3 that was over. Just because I had enough at that point.
That's funny, dude. That's so funny.
And it's funny. Like I think, my dad would agree, and I think a lot of people with multiple kids would agree that the first one is the one you're kind of the hardest on.
I've heard this,
but I don't know if that's because I think it's because you're still figuring it out. You're still like you don't know how to react to certain things, and you think you've tried everything until a whole new personality comes into your house, and then you notice there is different ways to handle stuff. So, but I don't know. I've seen people. I got family members that were hard on every one of their kids. You're like, when does it stop? Because from where we come from, like as far as just like culture wise and stuff like that, like we're real aggressive. It's like, and kids are like, we don't accept anything from the kids. So it's like,
yeah,
it's kind of weird to see some of them where it's like sitting down and like having a different type of relationship where you're talking a little more versus just yelling and throwing stuff from across the room, because that's what you see more oftentimes than not.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's just, it's funny how they're raised. I think that's why they say like the Hispanic women have a certain, like they're known for that personality where they're just like tough, man. It's just the survival of the fittest in these houses. Like,
yeah, that's crazy, man. So Bree has a lot of Mexican blood in her family, and her grandmother Ray, she's fantastic. But anyway, yeah, it's interesting you say that, man, because Bree always gets on me, dude. She says I'm too soft on Vic, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know about all that, but. Anyway, you have to ask her. But nah, she's the in the Marine Corps we called that the heavy hat. The heavy. She's kind of a little bit more heavy than me, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting, dude. I can't wait to have a child with her, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for you, dude. I know that's just such an incredible thing that's about to happen to you and your family, man. So. Wishing Joyce all the best. Think about you guys constantly about that, man. It's very exciting, dude.
Yeah, man.
It's very exciting. Gonna have a new baby girl in the house, man. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Is Joyce gonna put like those the baby bows on their head, the ones that compress the head? And I'm always freaked out that it's gonna like deform the head. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know how much of that's gonna go on. That's something I do have to constantly like pull. In my family, in my house, I find like I gotta constantly pull people back into reality, into what's more practical versus what looks cute. Just in everything, man. Like if we get a vacuum, it's like, is that gonna be the best one, or is that just the cute one with the bells and whistles that Amazon said it's got a cute LCD screen on it? Like, what I want an LCD screen on a vacuum? Like, it'll be silly stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm like, nah. Get what works, man. What do we really need? How are we gonna use it? And that's always a conversation we have over here.
Yeah, it's like, I remember when we had Vic, it was like, you don't know really what to get, you know what I mean, in terms of supplies. You don't really know. Everybody can kind of tell you. But there's always new crap. This, yo, okay, oh, you gotta have a baby in 2020. There's all kinds of cool stuff. I'm like, yo, you know what you need? And I told my sister this when she had her baby. I was like, look, you need some clean clothes for the kid. You need a shit ton of diapers, and that's about it. Like, like you don't need this crazy rocking chair. You don't need the thing that lulls the baby to sleep in an egg capsule looking thing, man. You don't need.
Yeah, you don't.
All this stuff. I mean, it's cool, I guess. I just was holding Vic a lot. You know what I mean? I was on the floor with him. We didn't really have much, and and some toys as they get older. Some stuff to help their motor development and all that kind of thing. But you don't need much, man. You need a lot of patience.
Yeah, and
and
if
a
you
lot
think
of love,
of,
dude. That's it.
And if you think about it, the money you end up spending on that expensive stuff is more for you. The baby doesn't know or care
the
that
baby
you got the
could care less.
Bluetooth enabled bottle, and like it's seriously like they just you got the baby bottle that tells your phone when he's done drinking. Like the baby doesn't care.
You're an idiot, dude. Connecting to Victor's bottle.
It'll be stuff like that. Like it'll be like shit, dude. It's wild. I'm like pausing because I don't want to get way too much into detail and give out like some of the specific fights, but it's been stuff like that, like wild, like goofy stuff like that, like just like Bluetooth enabled bottles of a heated blanket with the like why it's just necessary, like and why is it necessary now? Like since the dawn of time, like if you go back to when man was coming out of a cave, you think they had these things? We survived much harsher times without any of this stuff. Like
people were dying at 25 years old, though. So
I don't know. At some point, we started living longer. At some point,
I know.
I wish there was a way to know exactly, like, just how long these cavemen and people were like surviving, like, because we didn't get electricity till like a couple years ago. We were making it work.
Right.
Like, this is a relatively new technology in the grand scheme of the billions of years that the Earth has existed.
Dude, there's a great scene in that movie Knocked Up. You ever watch Knocked Up? Seth Rogen.
I don't remember that one.
Knocked Up. It's a your typical mid 2000s comedy. But anyway, it's about being pregnant, and these people get together and they accidentally get pregnant, and it's their whole story of how they're going to become parents, and it's really funny. But anyway, it goes along with the ancient Egyptians. Like there's some line that Seth Rogen's love interest in the movie, not really love interest, but the lady who gets pregnant is like freaking out about him because he's not reading the baby books that she got him, like these baby books, like these self-help baby books, how to
right.
what to expect when you're expecting kind of thing. And dude, he like flips out at one point and he's like yelling at it. He's like, "Oh God, I didn't read the books. What did the ancient Egyptians do without the baby books, dude?" And it was like, I get it. I get it, dude. I get it.
That's something. It's funny. That used to make me upset. Like I used to. Because every marriage goes through their things, right? And that reminds me of like when there'd be issues. It's like, well, we should read this book and we should sit down and do this. I'm like, nah, man, I'm not doing it. I don't need somebody else to be injected into my problems.
I mean, here's
explain to me what is wrong with me. Like I know what's wrong with me. All right, I don't need somebody else saying it.
And that's I hear you, man. A lot of people don't know. You know what I mean? And sometimes it is nice to get a fresh perspective. I will say that for sure, because I know myself, and I get very blinded sometimes. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, loud and clear, dude.
That's why. I mean, honestly,
Dr. Phil, sit down, Tony.
Yeah,
we're gonna get through this. Sit down.
Because I legit, dude, I've talked about this before, man. Like I and that whole it goes circles back to what we talked about with the personality test and stuff like this. And I recognize, and not just through a personality test, but it just lends credibility to my thought of myself when it comes to just having no patience. Yeah. And sometimes being aggressive, right? And I really feel like that comes from just me in my mind thinking that I do not know more than the next person. I don't feel like I'm the most talented person in the room. I don't feel like I'm the smartest person in the room. And what that means is when I see people slip up around me and do things that I feel like are crazy, I'm like, dude, if I wouldn't have done that, if I saw that was a bad idea, how did you not see it? And then it comes off as aggression, and it comes off like I don't want to hear it. How can you not know if I know it, everybody else should know it? Yeah. I'm not out here researching every single thing on the planet. So yeah, it comes from that. I'm just like, I don't need a book, dude. I just need to sit down and be honest, have a moment of honesty, either with yourself. You gotta know yourself, and I feel like everybody really.
That's the key, dude.
I feel like everybody should know themselves. It's like stop and think of the way you react to things every now and then, like just because I know you do it. Like
Oh,
I'll stop
come
and
on.
think about the way you should have done certain things, and stop and think about the way you always react to stuff, and is that really the best way? And I always say this when you and I are talking, not about you, but I always say this, like, it's not about you. Like I always tell myself that. I always remind myself that, like, no, not everything is about you. It's not about what you want. It's not
Dude,
about the best.
that's been like one of my life's journeys here in adulthood, dude. Especially since I met Brianna, and it's like you think you know yourself. And here's another thing: you change as well. You know what I mean? You go through a lot of changes. I'm not the same guy I was 5 years ago. I'm not the same guy I was 15 years ago. Clearly, but yeah, dude, it's difficult for me, man. Like I've kind of got stuck in a lot of my ways, and I'm trying to continuously, day by day, make changes. And it is not about me. I'm not saying it's always about me, but you know me, dude. I wear it on the sleeve, man. I wear it on the sleeve, loud and proud. And you know, I'm a very defensive kind of guy. I need constant praise, constant. Tony, I need you to tell me I'm doing a good job right now on this podcast. I need you right now.
Hey, you doing all right?
Yeah,
Doing okay.
Thank you.
This is where you and I
We are
that
very
that can.
polar opposites in this way.
Well, it's funny because that can be a challenge, not necessarily in a bad way, but I think it's a challenge. I think about that sometimes as far as, so me and my personality, I feel like that stuff sometimes even makes me uncomfortable. Like if somebody, how I put it, I think I'm kind of wired to always be defensive and kind of wired to like what does somebody want? Why are you saying what you're saying?
What's
are you
your
gonna
angle?
Screw me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think that even with the people I trust a lot, like, and I gotta constantly tell myself in my head, like, they're not trying to do something to you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like the old broken record where I say, like, you really don't got no friends in life, and I say I say that harshly, but it's like I understand you do have friends, but on the other side you don't. And I remember when we started working, I used to tell you that all the time, like, that guy ain't your friend. He ain't your friend.
Well,
you got no friends. You got no friends.
You know what was funny? The more because we were still rekindling our friendship. You know what I mean, and getting to know each other again. And I always, in my head, I would laugh whenever you told me that. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm not trying to be this guy's friend. What I'm trying to be is very friendly, very outgoing, very memorable, and trying to gain their trust. You know what I mean? Just from a business standpoint.
I remember like once or twice, like we'd walk away from somebody. You know that guy ain't your friend, right? Like, you know?
Yeah, you would tell me that, and I'm like, and I remember I was like, I don't, I had never heard that expression before. I was like, what? You're like, hey, he's not your friend. I was like, yeah, I know that. I just met him.
But yeah,
but you were like, yeah, just be careful, dude. I'm like, be careful. What?
Yeah. Yeah, no, so that's the long way around to the point I was going to say, as far as just like, I got to constantly remind myself that just because something is not a big deal to you doesn't mean it's not a big deal to somebody else. And that doesn't mean that it's not a big deal at all. Just because you don't care about something doesn't mean that it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Dude,
like,
it's such a great point, dude. It's such a great point. And it's just, man, if there's like one thing, if there was like one golden rule, to me, that's the big one right there, dude. You just nailed it. People are different, dude.
Yeah, you got to make an effort, and on the other side of things, just because somebody has to make an effort too, the person receiving that effort shouldn't feel like it's phony.
Yeah.
Also, that's where it becomes like a challenge. Like for somebody like me, I don't necessarily always need the verbal confirmation stuff. I'm more of a like, what did you do type of person. I'm more like in my house. In my house, I'm like, I don't even need a thank you for anything. Like in my house, honestly, like thank you. Like honestly, if I'm being truthful. Inside, when I hear a thank you in the house, I feel uncomfortable. I really feel like I don't need a thank you. I need I was gonna say obedience, but I need more like a follow. I need more like follow through. Like if you're really appreciative, then show through your actions as far as like you're gonna be mindful of what was done for you and take care of it. Like if we fix something in the house, thank me by taking care of whatever we fix. Like if we broke a cabinet or something, I don't know. I can't think of anything right now. But
yeah, I know.
Don't go over there and don't go over there and mistreat it and say. But I was grateful. I said thank you. Were you really? Like because I spent an hour and a half fixing that, and then you broke it a day later.
Oh, man.
That's my thing. I'm more like be thankful that way. So, but yeah, and I gotta remind myself like just be a little more verbal as far as some people appreciate that, they need that.
Well, that's the
and
thing,
I'm like
man.
just because I don't need it doesn't mean it's not. It's not right for me to shut down and say, you need to toughen up, softy, and I'm not going to give it to you. It's like, it works both ways, man. It's a two-way street. You got to be mindful of everybody's feelings and that they operate at different levels.
For sure, man. Now this is not to say
And there's
that
no
you need
one
to-
right way. There's not.
Right. You don't. You don't need to walk around on eggshells around people either. But it's like, be you, but be mindful. And there are multiple intelligences, and there are multiple love languages. I've heard that expression. A lot of people take things many different ways. They take their coffee many different ways. So be mindful of that, and don't be a dick.
Well,
Don't be
thing
jerk,
is,
man.
and all of us have to admit to ourselves, you need all kinds of different people in your life. Because
man.
even if you are like a tough person that's like, I don't need that, every now and then it's good to hear it. Every now and then it does get you out of a space. And on the other side, if you're a person that needs to hear it every now and then, or if you're a person that needs to hear it a lot, every now and then it's good to hear, hey, wake up. Like some
Get
tough
checked a
love, like
little
every
bit.
now and then. Like,
Yeah.
it's good to have that. You just got to be mindful of, like, I think the hardest part in relationships like that is to understand when someone's coming from a place of love. Like, and I think that's probably the hardest part of being like a friend of Tony, is to understand when something comes out aggressive, when is that real anger, and when is that like
Just passion, dude.
yeah, it's like I care about this relationship and I want it to be a certain way because I think it's the best for both of us or all of us, and this is why it's coming out this way. It's not that I want to destroy you and I want to hurt your feelings and all this stuff, and sometimes
Yeah.
it might come off and sound that way. And it's hard, dude. It's hard to be a friend to somebody like that because it's like you really got to understand that. Not that you don't got to accept disrespect from anybody. But sometimes, it's hard to separate what's disrespectful and what's just passion.
Yeah. No, for
I
sure,
do.
man. No, I do as well. In my relationship with my wife, dude, we're both very passionate, vocal, emotional people, man. And that's what happens when a volcano hits a tornado.
Yeah,
Look me in the eyeball, that whole thing.
yeah.
But dude, it's all love, man. It's gravy, dude. We made it another week, man, and just hunkering down, dude, having fun. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this has been
That's
nice,
all you
man.
can do.
This is very nice, very good, Tony.
Yeah.
Nice job, Tony. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, man. I
Yeah, bro.
appreciate you too.
Yeah, man.
What do
Dig
you have going on today?
What do we got going on today? Victor's got kindergarten for most of the day. I got a number of edits to finish up for the Virginia Aquarium and Marine Science Center. But other than that, just working today from home and, just hanging out, hanging with the family,
Good.
getting it done, dude. How about you? Anything special? Oh, I gotta take the trash cans out. That's what I gotta do. Dude, we gotta wrap
Yours
this
is
up.
Friday. Mine's
Yeah.
mine's just Thursdays.
Yeah, no, I gotta wrap this up, dude. I gotta get out there. Dude, they're coming earlier and earlier every week, dude. I'm like, what do you? It's like 6:30. I hear the
Mine's
track.
just later and later every week. Mine's just later every. So you got to put yours like in the middle of the court.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
how does
weird.
that work when you live in a cul-de-sac?
Yeah, it's weird, dude. Especially like with our townhome situation. You have to block yourself in basically, and if you got two cars, then somebody's getting blocked, which is it's a pain in my butt, dude. But it's all good.
Yo,
Yeah.
my across the street neighbor is like a rental home. You've seen it before, like the ones they rent that house out all the time, and they got new renters in there, and they did this twice and never again. They put their trash can like on our side of the street.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, yo, like, and it was like almost in front of like almost directly in front of our house. I like the first week, I'm like, yeah, I don't like that. The second week when they did it, just rolled it right back over to their house.
Yeah.
And,
And
it's
then
like,
I-
and
and
then
then
we never and they never saw it again over here. Like,
Yeah, and then it accidentally dumped into their lawn. No, I'm
yeah,
kidding.
I'm like, yo, that's wild. Like, who does that? Like, that really had me like really upset.
Oh,
Like, I
dude!
was like, yo,
Next week, don't forget. Next week, let's talk about the wild things that people do that they totally think is normal, but it's just socially unacceptable.
Wait, you need, yeah, that's and when and where to speak up on stuff like that. Like that's, man, that's one of the hardest things for me as far as like, dude, like look, real quick, one of my biggest challenges is like speaking up sooner, not letting stuff boil to the point where I'm yelling.
Festering, yeah.
Like, don't wait till you get that upset about it, and that's a tough balance. You don't want to be nagging people and telling them, hey, I didn't like you did this every single day, but
Yeah.
you don't want to wait until you just lost all patience and now you're yelling.
Yeah.
So
no, there's much to
yeah,
talk about, dude. We'll Friday. We'll
when do
talk
you
about
speak
that.
up?
Yeah. When to speak up in socially awkward situations, and we'll talk more about my 7-Eleven adventures.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. Yeah. All right, man. Hey, great episode, dude. I hope you're well, man. And I'll hit you up later today, dude.
All right, man. Good.
All right, man. I'm Matt.
This is Tony.
And this is the Tsunami Podcast, baby. Yes, sir. Boom. Boom. I'm going to do both just like that, just in case. Don't know where you went with that.
Say bye to everybody in the room.
Yeah,
all right.
man.